Chapter 20. That morning had been completed and recorded the theme song Back Christ. Minutes later, unexpectedly Aurelio appeared. "Listen to me," said, addressing to Vladimir. "Juliet says that really likes your songs. Do you think you could do a song for Christ back?" Vladimir was a little surprised by the speed of events, but said with a smile, "That's done." "Yes, but, move," said Aurelio with his usual impatience in his subtle command voice. "Here you will have the opportunity of a lifetime. When do you think it would be finished?" "I told you it was done," replied Vladimir with a smile of triumph on his lips. "I already did a song for Christ back." Aurelio's amazement had no limits and desperately insisted on listening the creation. Vladimir sought their old tape recorder and they sat in the portal of the home. Aurelio was very impressed and satisfied with what he heard. "He think that can score to himself a good point before Didymus just right now," constantly repeated. "I can hardly believe it. How could you do that overnight?" 2 days later Aurelio visited again to Vladimir. The thing was that Didymus had told that should be found a way to start trying to promote Christ back in Cuba, and the poor Aurelio had no fucking idea, nor Didymus, who was a very cultured man, but equally ignorant of national mechanisms. Here the star was Vladimir, able to reach any instance with their intelligence and abilities of all kinds, even psychic, as hereinafter he will show. If any intelligence agency would have given with this boy, surely would have made a good acquisition. Vladimir seemed a super gifted, one of a kind for many activities, and some for envy, some for professional and personal jealousy, would not let him go further, although try to stop him, is in vain. For this issue of trying to put the picture back Christ, as the image of worship in a church, was required a great biblical and religious knowledge, things that also Vladimir had, but he knew in advance that there was going to be not an easy task, considering the particular characteristics of each religion and all obstacles of a social environment largely apathetic, unmotivated, and short-sighted. Of all religions that Vladimir reviewed on a first glance, the Catholic seemed the most appropriate, but still. Never, in almost 2,000 years of Christianity, no one had managed to put a religious image of Christ back, as one more of the many images of a Catholic worship. Notwithstanding all, well worth a try, although it seemed one of the craziest things that a mind could imagine. We would be the pioneers. The possible rise to the fame, to the celebrity, and who knows? Said Vladimir excited to Aurelio, the idea were great. That night Vladimir was with Juliet and some friends. "Here comes the Pope," said Michael, the old lead singer of the band of Vladimir, scoffing when he saw that Aurelio approached. "Laughs, you can laugh," Aurelio replied without anger, and he added, "You do not know that we talked to Father Mateo, from church of the village center, to put the Christ back." "Who? You and the altar boy Vladimir?" asked Michael mockingly and looking at Young, who was smiling with their funny occurrences. "No," Aurelio answered, "Didymus and me went, but Father Matthew says it is very difficult, and still he would have to consult first with Cardinal." Vladimir pretended to have been somewhat upset. Henceforth he should to take care himself a lot of Aurelio, who, not only had stolen his idea, to make it his own idea in front of the painter, but besides had not made partaker to Vladimir, although Vladimir knew that without him, neither Aurelius, nor Didymus by himself, would they reach nowhere. Was needed too much intelligence so that the Vatican could approve such an idea, and never has been easy overstep the walls of Rome. Though the visit of the himself Pope, John Paul II, to the island could help, in somehow, against the tightness and silence of the Cuban Catholic hierarchy.